Last name ever, first name greatest, like a sprained ankle boy. I ain't nothing to play with. Hey you guys, I'm sure most of you have already heard by now. There was some crazy stuff going down at Drake's performance in Sydney, Australia a couple weeks ago. He was performing in a club and apparently in the middle of his song, he stopped performing so that he could call out a man in the audience who was touching women inappropriately. And the crowd went wild because they were excited and grateful that Drake was standing up for the women that were being harassed by this man. I want to affirm everything that Drake did in that moment. I think it's very good. Well, I don't think we can affirm everything that Drake always does, everything he sings about, or everything that he's ever chosen to do with his life. We need to affirm the good that took place when he decided to protect the dignity of those women in the audience. And while that is awesome and while that was heroic in that moment, I think that our culture could be seeing a lot more of that. It should be expected that men will stand up for the dignity of women and women will stand up for the dignity of men, because we know that God creates man and women with dignity. He's created us with infinite worth because we are loved by him, and for that reason, we ought to protect the dignity of ourselves and of one another. That's why it's natural for the audience that was at Drake's performance to celebrate him as he was protecting those women who were being harassed by that man. Drake saw the dignity in those women, dignity that was given to them by God, and decided that it was worth protecting. I know sexual assault and harassment has been all over the news lately. There have been tons of stories coming up left and right of different victims' accounts, and it's tragic. It really, really is. And our culture needs to be doing more to be standing up for the dignity of other men and women. And we do that by not just having these big heroic moments like Drake did on a stage in front of people while sexual assault is on people's minds. We do this by making choices in our daily lives. So how do we as a culture respond to this? How should we be affected by this? I think that when it comes to respecting the dignity of all persons, we need to first surround ourselves with good, holy, pure things that will allow us to recognize our own dignity, recognize that we are good, that we are loved by God, and that for that reason we have infinite worth. And then when we live in that mindset, we're able to recognize the infinite worth of every single person we encounter. I think that's what gives us the courage that Drake had in that moment in Australia to say, hey, that's not all right. That's a person with infinite dignity and worth given to them by God. So it's my duty to do something about it when it's being trampled upon. If there are more ways that you think we can be identifying the dignity in those around us, comment below and let us know. We want to hear from you and see what you think we can be doing to transform our culture. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and then subscribe to our channel. We'll be putting out more videos like this every single week, talking about things that are going on in the world and how we as Christians ought to respond to them. Thank you so much for watching this week, and I can't wait to see you all next week on Real Talk. No, my last name is Ever. My first name is Greatest.
Okay, see, I don't know how that's how you're in front of the camera.